Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about not being afraid to shine your light and not dimming anyone else's light. You know, there's so many people who worry that the universe doesn't have enough to provide for everyone. And so a lot of people feel like if I share my gifts with others, then they might try to steal my ideas or they might try to take away from what I have. But I'm here to tell you that dimming someone else's light does not make your own light brighter. There is more than enough to go around in this universe, and the universe is infinite and limitless. So for us to be afraid that there's not enough to go around is simply ridiculous. There's more than enough to go around. Yet some of us have this deep internal fear that if we ask for something, then that means we're taking away from others. And that simply isn't the case. The universe says that I have enough for everyone and I want to co-create with everyone. And the universe wants to bring us all of our desires. So there's no need to be afraid that you're asking for too much or you're dreaming too big. Because honestly, in my own opinion, I feel like the universe thinks that sometimes we dream too small. We don't dream big enough. We kind of keep ourselves confined, either because we think we're being humble or because we think that if we ask for too much, that others won't be able to have their share. And that just simply isn't the case. I wanted to share with you about my own experiences. I worked with a lot of people over the years in many capacities. I've worked as a teacher with fellow teachers, and I've worked as a spiritual teacher and in what I do with my podcast and as a Reiki practitioner. Let's just call myself an intuitive because there's so many things that I do. It's just a big umbrella. There's a lot that I do in my spiritual teaching capacity. So I've worked with a lot of people in both areas. And so I have a lot of experience with this notion of not dimming someone else's light to make yours brighter. I have worked with teachers in my profession who wanted to share what they had and who are a great resource and very helpful and wanted to work together in order to make lessons better. And here's the thing about teaching. You can design a lesson or use a new technology, and sometimes what happens is a principal will come in and observe you. And then at our school, we had the Friday notes, and that was kind of a place for the principals to give teachers a shout out. So there were many times that we would work together in group collaboration in our department on different programs, different lesson plans, and a principal might come into one teacher's room just to do an observation and observe the thing that we had all worked on, but gave that one specific teacher a shout out. And for most of us in our department, we were all very humble and very much like, did you see you got the shout out? That's so awesome. And isn't that great? They liked our lesson plan and congratulating someone. But we had one teacher in our department who did not like to share. And in fact, it would make her very mad if she shared an idea and someone else used it. And let's say a principal did a drop-in and then that person got a shout out for that idea. It would make her so mad that someone else took the credit for something she did. Not realizing that, we're a team. And honestly, our principals all realized that we were a team and they knew we worked together. So honestly, they realized that when something came from our department that was good, that our whole department was behind it, really. And none of the rest of us had an issue with that, right? It's like, if you look good, we all look good. Like we're helping each other and we are just doing this to make our teaching better. Like we understood what it was all about. Teamwork is really about putting forth the best product out there. And for us, our product were our lessons, right? We wanted to teach the kids in the best way possible. So for most of us, doing that, working together, was not a big deal. It was natural and really felt like the right thing to do because we were doing what was best for our students and enabling them to learn in a way that was engaging for them and exciting. So nobody wanted to take full credit. Nobody cared about that. That was just an afterthought. No one really cared except that one teacher. And in the same way, I've worked with spiritual teachers too, and we've been in different groups. And I've had people that I've worked with who were super giving and super nice. Like my mentor, for example, even though I've taken classes from her, she has said in her classes, I know that I am in a way creating people who do what I do. So you may be taking some clients away from me, but that's okay because I'm teaching you how to be your very best and how to do what I do because you're needed and because the universe needs us. And you're reaching people that maybe I can't get to anymore. So she understood too that even though what she was teaching us was what she did herself and that it could possibly be taking away from her clientele, she wasn't worried about it because she knew that she was doing what was for the highest good of everyone, which is helping others to become light workers. And she knew that the universe has plenty for everyone and there's enough to go around, and that she didn't need to dim our lights in order to make hers brighter. And in the same way, when I worked with Heather and we did our class, I was understanding that I was bringing on someone for people that I am already an established teacher for because you listen to my podcast. So essentially you're listening because you're learning things. And I knew that I'm bringing in someone that can help in a way that I can't because I don't deal in the financial area as much. And I knew that she could help you all where I really couldn't. And it was so nice of her to say, hey, do you want me to do some podcast episodes while you're gone? That way you don't have to worry about not having a podcast or having to record, 14 podcasts before you leave. And I just thought that was the nicest thing ever because, that takes a lot off of my plate. And anyone else might have thought, well, I don't know because this might be taking away from what I do. But I understand that the universe sent Heather to me to help all of you. And we've created this group that is so amazing. And we had so much fun with the 5-day free training. I mean, it's so much fun doing the lives together. I enjoyed that so much working with her and doing our podcast together that we've done. And so I didn't even hesitate when she said that. I was like, yes, that is an amazing solution because really she wants to start her own podcast. We've been talking about that. And I told her, yes, she wanted to even before we started working together. She had thought about it. And I told her, yes, I thought that was a great idea because I feel like that is something that's an area people need to hear about. It's finances. And there are people who have financial podcasts, but they don't have spiritual financial podcasts. So that's an area where she can really help people. And so I thought that was a great idea. And she said, it'll give me some experience too. And I said, yes, exactly. That'll be a great way for her to get some experience. And it was just a very nice thing to do because I don't want to leave people with no podcast. I have people who reach out to me all the time when I miss a podcast. And it doesn't happen often, but when it does, they'll reach out and say, oh, I don't have anything to listen to on the way home. And I totally understand that because I had an hour drive to and from work at my old job. And I listened to podcasts. If I didn't have something like that to listen to, I would have gone crazy. So I understood that, and I try to always have my podcast. So for her to step in and say, hey, I can help you out and I can do this, so that you don't have so much on your plate, and then I can get practice too. I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect balance there, helping her and she's helping me. And then you guys are still getting a podcast, and you're going to get somebody different who's going to give you a different perspective, which is going to be interesting too. And I can't wait to listen to her podcast when I get back. But, it just proves that there's enough to go around, and you don't have to worry about others taking over or taking credit or whatever. You don't have to dim someone else's light in order to make yours shine brighter. And I talk about this in the area of work because working as a team is important. And hopefully you don't work with people who try to dim your light to make themselves feel better, because that definitely would stink. I mean, it's horrible when you have someone who can't share the limelight, who can't work together. I mean, that's makes for a very toxic work environment. But more than even just working in your work environment, I want to talk to you about not dimming the light of others in your social environment too. Jealousy, that is really just a personal insecurity. It really is. When you're secure in yourself, you really don't have anything to be jealous about. And trust me, I'm not always a person who was totally secure. When I was younger, I wasn't totally secure with myself, and even a year ago. And so I had situations where I was jealous of other people. And now I understand that that was silly. There was nothing to be jealous of. If I'm secure in who I am and I love myself and I know who I am, I don't have to be afraid of anyone else coming in and stealing my thunder, because I am the only me there is. I am the only me there is. I'm unique. No one else has what I have. No one else does what I do or can even check all the boxes that I check. And I don't say that in an arrogant way. I say that in each and every one of us, we're all different. And we all bring unique things to the table that other people don't. And that's a good thing, because can you imagine how boring it would be if we were all exactly the same? So it's great that we're all unique, that we all bring special talents and gifts. That's awesome. And I just want to say that now I understand that I bring something that nobody else can. The way that I do Reiki is different from most other people. I've talked to other people who've done Reiki and we've compared stories, and we don't work the same way, and that's perfectly okay. In fact, that's great, because everyone gets a different experience depending on who they go to. And when you think about that, I know whenever I go to get a massage, I have gone to people before and their massages are good, but they're not like somebody else that I've gone to in the past. So it's like every person you go to gives you a different experience. And some you may like more than others because you may relate to it more than others, You may relate to other people that you work with doing Reiki more than you do others. And that's okay, because we all bring something different to the table. But I love that, because then it gives everyone a chance to find who they like to work with. And my point in all of this, it sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm really not. My point in this is that it's okay for you to have other people who do the same thing that you do and not worry that they're going to steal your thunder, because we were all designed to be different. And I know that in a lot of situations we may be put in conflict with others. Like when we're going out for a job, yes, we do have to compete with others, and there can only be one person chosen. And it's those situations, I believe, that set us up for this belief that there can only be one this or only be one that. And the truth is that there can be many of everything. We're not in direct competition with each other. We're really not. Our society kind of gives that impression because of the way we're set up, that sometimes there may only be one job opening, or, that's why I think many of us, we have this false conception that, I'm in competition with this person and we can't be friends if we're both this, because they're going to steal, my clients, or they're going to steal this and they're going to do that. And that just isn't the case. There's enough to go around, and the universe says there's enough to go around. And it's all about this mindset thing again. When you're wishing to manifest things, like if you want to manifest a job, okay, you want to manifest a job. I'm here to tell you, I am not the only German teacher out there. I'm not. But I manifested the perfect job for me, not because, I put all the other German teachers to shame. That's not even it. It's about the fact that I manifested this. I wanted the job that was perfect for me. And it literally fell in my lap, and I don't think anyone else even applied, honestly, because they put it out there so quickly and it was filled quickly. But that's how things can work out when you know that the universe has your back and you're not worried about competition and you're not worried about having to make everyone else look bad in order to make yourself feel better. When you're not worried about that, and when you're focused on, I know how good I am, I know how worthy I am, then it doesn't matter what other people do. I mean, that's the main point, is I don't know why we worry so much what other people are doing. Because ultimately it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you and focusing on you. And unfortunately, many people choose to focus on the wrong thing. They focus on the people that they know who have all the things they don't have. And the thing is, you've got to stop comparing yourself to other people, because you're not where they are on their journey. That's the thing. I mean, people may look at you and, people might look at me and say, well, why did she get a new job? Well, why does she have a podcast? Well, why does she have this? Why does she have that? People in my own family have made comments to me, and I'm here to tell you the reason that I have what I have is because I've done the work. And it's because I am where I am on my journey. I didn't start off this way. I didn't start off in a spiritual awakening getting everything I wanted. That's not what happened. I had to go through what I like to call the dark night of the soul. I had to go through the lessons and the healing and the hurt and the pain and healing all of that before I got to where I am now. What you're seeing now, what you're listening to now, the me that you see now is a completely different person from the me that was a year ago when I started this journey. A year ago, I was a hot mess. It was such a hot mess. And I was not in a happy place. I was very miserable. And I woke up every day thinking that there has to be more to life than this. And I don't know why I'm stuck in this rut and everything's miserable. And I had a negative attitude. And it was that questioning that there has to be more to this. There has to be more to life than this, that led me to finding the teachers who helped me to awaken and to change everything about my life, to change my mindset, to change how I live, how I behave, how I see others, my daily routine, what I do in my life. And that is what caused all of this change. That is what caused all of the things that I wanted to see manifest. That's what caused that to happen. It's not because, oh, she's just lucky and look at her and why does that happen to her? No, it's not that. It's that I did the work. I did the work. I'm in a different place in my journey than you are. Some of you might be in the same place that I am, where you're starting to manifest things. And some of you may be at the very beginning of your journey, where you're still in that dark night of the soul, where you feel like there has to be more to life than this, and you just wake up miserable every day. Some of you may be there, and some of you may be somewhere in between, where you're no longer in the miserable place, and you're starting to change your mindset, but you're not totally there yet. And it's okay. We're all where we're meant to be. And we all get there at different times. It's a process. But the important thing to remember is that you don't need to make anyone else feel bad to make yourself feel better. And you don't need to compare yourself to anyone else either, because again, you're not that person and you're not where that person is on their journey. And I want to stress this if you feel like you have to make someone else feel bad in order to make yourself feel better, then you're suffering with low self-esteem and low self-worth, and you've got to take care of that, because you should not have to make anyone else feel bad in order to make yourself feel better. We should all be lifting each other up. We should be lifting one another up in praise and light and positivity. We should all be supporting one another and making one another feel good, because that's why we're here. You listen to me because I help you learn new things and I help you feel better about yourself. I've had other people tell me that, like, I feel so much better after I listen to you. And that's because I'm a firm believer that part of the reason that I'm here is to help you feel better about yourself. It's to help you live a better life. It's to help you heal your life. And you can sit here and talk all day long about changing mindset. But until you actually do it, until you actually practice what you're preaching, until you actually put the work in and not just say I'm shifting my mindset, but actually do it, you're not going to see change. And we have to be here to encourage one another in this process, because it's not an easy process. It really isn't. It's not impossible. Of course, it's possible to change your mindset, but it takes practice. And again, it is a process that doesn't happen overnight. It's doing it over and over again. And when you fall down and you make mistakes, you get back up and you try again. And we all need people who are here for us, our cheerleaders, to tell us, get back up, you can do it, you can do this. And that's what I feel I am for people sometimes, is a daily cheerleader and a reminder that you've got this and you can handle anything that life throws your way. And so I just want you to know that you're so beautiful, talented, deeply loved. You don't need to make anyone else feel bad about themselves in order to make yourself feel better. And you don't need to worry about anyone else stealing your thunder or coming in and taking over, because the universe says that there is more than enough to go around. There's plenty to go around. And you don't have to dim your light in order to make others shine either. So just as you don't dim anyone else's light, no one else needs to dim your light either. There's enough to go around. The universe says we need each and every one of your lights shining brightly. And I just want you to think about that next time you have the urge to say something bad about someone else, or if you work with someone and you have the urge not to share things with them, or you're difficult to work with because you don't want them taking credit for things that you do, I would urge you to reconsider that, because the universe says if you trust that we're working behind the scenes on your behalf, we have your best interest at heart, and we're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. And there's no need to make anyone else feel small or bad in order to make yourself feel better. So I hope that makes sense to you. And it's more for you than anyone else, that you don't need to worry about anything, really. You don't need to worry. The universe says, I have your back. I'm taking care of you. There's no need to worry. So I wanted to pull a card for you today. So the card that I pulled is from the Teachings of Abraham deck, the Wellbeing cards. And the card that I pulled is, we are all working toward the same goal, which is joy. Whether it seems like it or not, you are all working toward the ultimate goal of joy. You are just approaching things in different ways, and all of it is working. And guys, that is the ultimate. That is what the universe wants, is for you to experience more joy in your life. And we're all working towards that. So there's no need to feel threatened by anyone else or any other person's situation, because the universe says we are all working together towards one common goal, which is to experience more joy. So I hope that you are experiencing joy in your life. I hope that you know how valuable, worthy, and loved you are, because you are. I love you all, and I hope that if you like this podcast, you will share it with others so you can help be the light as well. Subscribe to this podcast, that helps others to find me. Also, if you leave a review for me, so liking it or leaving stars or a review from wherever you're listening, that also helps others to find me. And thank you so much to those of you who already have. I want to remind you that I will not be doing any more Facebook Lives for a while. I will begin them again in August once I get back and get settled. I also want to thank you for listening. And if you like my work, if you want to go and subscribe to my website, you'll receive a free morning and evening meditation as a gift from me. If you want to work with me, you can go to my website and see the services that I offer. You can also email me or text me or call me or leave me a message on Facebook or Instagram. If you'd like to work with me, but you're not really sure what you want to do, I have people do that all the time, and I absolutely don't mind talking to you and figuring that out. I want to do what is best for you. So go ahead and contact me if you'd like to work with me. I will be out of town from July 11th to the 24th, so I will not be doing sessions until after I get back. But I want to thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day. I am sending you massive love and light, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.